Hey, what up, everybody? This is Shorty racheal. Hope all of y'all is having a blessed and good day. I hope all y'all continue to have a blessed and good day. But let's get this topic started. All right, guys. So for a real long time, I have always asked myself, why, right? Why? Let's talk about it real quick. Why is it that in certain sentences, certain judges, or a lot of judges, would give a real small sentence to a person that has committed, let's just say, who has molested or has sexually abused the child? Like, I always wonder, why is it that they would put down a dog for biting somebody, but somebody that would take a child's innocence would last in jail for maybe 2 months, 6 months, probably a year, 2 years, no longer than that. Some last 5 years, some last a couple years, but I believe that those people that take a child's innocence should last in jail longer or face the death sentence the same way a dog has to face the death sentence if he bites a human. I'm sorry to say it. That's my opinion. That's my belief. I've always said that, regardless of the situation. And it's, it's just that when it comes to cases like this, I see that it's getting worse and worse. And we're in 2022. Like, have y'all seen how these cases have gotten? Whether they're in the community, family wise, kid related, adult related. Um, Listen, these cases are getting like really out of hand to the point where a lot of people aren't surviving to tell their stories no more, and it's a shame. Like, I've always asked myself, why is it that the pedophiles and sex offenders, put it like that, get such a short amount of time when they get convicted for their crime? Some of them get away with it. And I just really don't understand it. So what I want y'all to do today is take a look at this clip that I got for y'all. I can't play the whole thing. Um, this man asks the judge, I can't say her name right, so I'm gonna say it, just don't, Judge Kentanji Brown Jackson, about her giving these cases such a like they can get more time. Why is it that they get less of a charge, right? So here's the question that he asked, and I've asked myself that same question, and this person actually acts as a judge himself, a judge. I don't care what judge got asked, but somebody actually asked, whether it was in Congress, whether it was a celebrity, whether it was us out here, the people, whether it was another judge, whether it was an officer, whether it was a firefighter, a doctor. I don't care, but somebody asked the question.
Child porn, possessed dozens more, including videos. The federal sentencing guidelines recommended a sentence of 97 to 121 months in prison. Prosecutors recommended 24 months in prison. Judge Jackson gave the defendant 3 months in prison. United States versus Chazen. That case, the defendant possessed 48 files of child pornography. The federal guidelines recommended 78 to 97 months in prison. The prosecutor recommended the same. Judge Jackson sentenced him to 28 months. United States versus months in prison. Recommended 97 months. I agree with that. I think the amount represent, as near as we can tell, all of Judge Jackson's cases dealing with child pornography from her time on the district court, in which she had some discretion to hand down a sentence. There's some other cases in which the law, she didn't have any discretion, the law bound the sentence that she had to give. And what concerns me, and I've been very candid about this, is that in every case, in each of these 7, Judge Jackson handed down a lenient sentence that was below what the federal guidelines recommended.
He just said it right there. She sentenced them below the federal guidelines. Like, what? Like, you got the power in your hands to sentence them, and I'm hoping, I don't know, but like, can't judges give them more time? We'll find out on what she says on her clip.
And below what prosecutors requested. So I think there's a lot to talk about there, and I look forward to talking about it. Now, I will note that some said that the federal sentencing guidelines are too harsh on child sex crimes, especially child pornography. I've heard that argument a lot in recent days. The chairman quoted someone earlier today who takes that point of view. I'll just be honest, I can't say that I agree with that. I mean, the amount of child pornography in circulation has absolutely exploded in recent years. Here's a New York Times report from 2019. I'm quoting now. Last year, tech companies reported over 45 million online photos and videos of children being sexually abused, more than double what they found the previous year. The report goes on to say this: 20 years ago, these online images were a problem. 10 years ago, they were an epidemic. Now the crisis is at a breaking point. Unfortunately, it's even worse than that.
And what others are focused on celebrity gossip, what the celebrity is doing, what that celebrity is up to. Like, while other people are focused in other people's pockets or bringing down somebody's franchise or worrying about the next person that's going to die, there's so many kids out here going through so many things. And listen, abuse and molestation and all that, it's not the only thing that's going, crazy right now. Like the sex trafficking, which is also part of this. Our kids going missing for, or missing organs. Like, I'm really trying to, I don't know how to say it right now, certain words, so that YouTube don't, shut my page, like, block my video or nothing. But like, when is it that we, the people, are going to start standing up? Like this Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, she gives her statement. She lets us know why she gave these lenient sentences. But my whole thing is, you had the power to give them more time, but you didn't. So that does have me a little messed up in the head. Like, is it because of the rules that you're given by Congress, or is it because you decide to do it like this? Because I understand, based on what she says, and a lot of y'all, I'm gonna put the clip up in a minute. I understand that she's bound to follow these rules, yeti. But come on, to give a sex offender less time than a person that is found with let me see a quarter weed. Like, come on, a half a quarter. Somebody's found with a dime. Like, I've seen it. These officers out here arresting people for a dime, for a quarter. Like, yo, it's just getting out of pocket. And you're telling me that a sex offender is going to get less time. So I decide to, let me see, still a bag of potato chips in the store, right? For example, you're going to give me 5 years for stealing this bag of chips, right? That's an example. I know I'm being a little extra. But yet somebody decides to take this kid's innocence and you're giving them 2 months. Somebody decides to post pictures that they shouldn't be posting of a child, and you're giving them just 2 months after this person has exploited somebody else's innocence. While the victim has to still walk around, sometimes suffering, sometimes they get over it, sometimes they don't. But we're talking about social media, something that never goes away. That even if they do delete it from here, somebody else has already gotten a copy of it.
Last week, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reported finding 85 million files of child pornography in 2021. Of course, this committee has heard testimony from prosecutors and others who are grappling with the problem of how to get at this porn and those who distribute it, how to prosecute them and hold them accountable. Here's my point. I think it's difficult against this backdrop to argue that the sentencing guidelines are too harsh or outmoded, or that we should be somehow treating child porn offenders more leniently than the guidelines recommend. But I want to be clear about this. But those arguments that I've just been rehearsing, those who say that, that's not what Judge Jackson has said. She hasn't had the chance yet to respond to this, and she deserves that chance. So others have made these arguments. I don't agree with them, but I think it's important we hear from Judge Jackson, and we'll have the chance to in coming days. And I think, again, the candor that Judge Jackson has.
For those of you that want to watch the video, the whole video is right there on YouTube. I'm going to get to her clip. I don't want to play the whole video. But before I get to her clip, I got to play this.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder for purposes such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarships and teaching. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this video or any video, including the Writers for Life Brings You to Let's Talk About It podcast, do not reflects on the opinions of your Shorty, Racheal, and the members of the Writer for Life podcast. Everything we talk about is allegedly and is our opinion. Our videos are not recommended for minors. Everything we talk about and do is meant for educational purposes and also entertainment. Please keep in mind that the majority of our videos are for educational purposes only. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch thinking that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one.
All right, y'all. So I'm about to play her clip real quick. Just had to play my little disclaimer. I had to. I just wanted to do it different from everybody else. Okay. So on here, you hear her explain why she gave lenient sentences. And I'm gonna pause it when she gets to the Congress part because I want y'all opinions. I want y'all leave your comments below. I want y'all to leave your comments below. This is something we all really need to talk about because if Congress has the powers to help these judges give better sentences to these sex offenders, then why not put better people in office? And who is that up to? Us the people. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth.
That's another issue that came up yesterday in the opening phase of this nomination hearing. And it's the issue involving child pornography. I want to turn to that issue because it was raised multiple times, primarily by the senator from Missouri. And he was questioning your sentencing record in child pornography cases that do not involve the production of pornographic material. They're known as non-production cases. I wanted to put some context here. The senator from Missouri has in his tweets said of your position on this issue, Judge Jackson has a pattern of letting child porn offenders off the hook for their appalling crimes, both as a judge and a policymaker. She's been advocating it since law school. This goes beyond soft on crime, the senator said. I'm concerned this is a record that endangers our children.
And I do agree with that, Senator. Like, letting sex offenders off that hook real easy is a danger to our kids, is a danger to society, for the simple fact that a lot of them don't get registered. And the ones that do get registered are still living in an area full of kids. Like, you can't really get them, away from the kids. And then when you do, put pictures up of the sex offenders, you're violating their amendment, this and that. But at the end of the day, I don't know what privacy a sex offender deserves when, you have committed a crime and you are around our kids. You see where I'm coming from? Sorry to say it, but it's the facts. I think us, the people, have plenty of ways of preventing this, but we turn a blind eye to it. Like we really just turn our faces to it. Like we just, it's like nobody really cares. And when people do talk about it, nobody brings awareness about it. What can we do? What can we do to change that? The fact that sex offenders get away with a crime faster than somebody that is robbing the corner store or somebody that has just killed somebody. What's the difference between somebody killing somebody and a sex offender taking somebody's innocence? Please tell me that. What is the difference? I'm sorry. What is the difference between somebody killing somebody and somebody taking someone's innocence? Or taking something from somebody that doesn't belong to them because it's my body. I didn't give you the permission to touch anything or to do anything with my body. You shouldn't have did it. And it's a shame because this type of crime is getting worse and worse. You know what I think is more messed up? How it's getting worse and worse in families. More than what it is out there. Because you hear more of the molestations and stuff like that in families, an uncle touching a niece, a brother touching a sister touching a brother, a mom and a son, a mom and a daughter, a father and a daughter, a father and a son. Like God is coming, God is coming, and He's coming sooner than what we expected.
I thought about his charges as I watched you and your family.
Well, let's get over here real quick because I want y'all to hear what she's about to say.
These are some of the most difficult cases that a judge has to deal with because we're talking about pictures of sex abuse of children. We're talking about graphic descriptions that judges have to read and consider when they decide how to sentence in these cases. And there's a statute that tells judges what they're supposed to do. Congress has decided what it is that a judge has to do in this and any other case when they sentence. And that statute doesn't say, look only at the guidelines and stop. The statute doesn't say, impose the highest possible penalty for this sickening and egregious crime. The statute says, calculate the guidelines,
Listen
but
carefully.
also look at various aspects of this offense and impose a sentence that is, quote, sufficient but not greater than necessary to promote the purposes of punishment. And in every case, when I am dealing with something like this, it is important to me to make sure that the children's perspective, the children's voices are represented in my sentencings. And what that means is that for every defendant who comes before me and who suggests, as they often do, that they're just a looker, that these crimes don't really matter, they've collected these things on the internet and it's fine, I tell them about the victim statements that have come into me as a judge. I tell them about
I understand where she's coming from. She's a good judge. I looked at her background, great judge. But when it does come to this, when it comes to sentencing sex offenders, it's like her hands are tied behind her back. I understand where she's coming from, but talking to these sex offenders isn't going to change the fact. Like, I mean, unless y'all going to sit here and do what certain states do, and is, I'm sorry, castrate them.
adults who were former child sex abuse victims who tell me that they will never have a normal adult relationship because of this abuse. I tell them about the ones who say, I went into prostitution, I fell into drugs because I was trying to suppress the hurt that was done to me as an infant. And the one that was the most telling to me, that I describe at almost every one of these sentencings, when I look in the eyes of a defendant who is weeping because I'm giving him a significant sentence, what I say to him is, do you know that there is someone who has written to me and who has told me that she has developed agoraphobia? She cannot leave her house because she thinks that everyone she meets will have seen her pictures on the internet. They're out there forever.
And that's the point that I just got done saying not so long ago. Like, once these people post these pictures out there, they're there. There's no erasing them. You're scarring them. Like, there is a large amount of trauma done to these people, not just the adults, but to the kids. Like, it is crazy to have to not just go through what you're going through, right? But for somebody to actually post a video of what was done to you or what they made you do, that right there is very traumatizing. And a lot of people need to understand that. We need to start bringing more awareness on this type of subject, on this topic, so that we could reach more kids, we could reach more people. Like, we can't keep shutting down. We need to start speaking up. We need to start helping them. This is a way of helping them when we bring awareness on these type of topics. Like, it's hard to speak on a topic like this, especially on a live, or whether you're doing you're trying to make a video to, and edit it, whichever way. It's a little hard to make these type of lives and talk about them, because a lot of people are just like, I'm gonna say zero-minded, close-minded. Like, if it's not about their feelings, if it's not about them, nothing else matters. But how about if you flip the script? What about if it's somebody that you love is going through this? How are you gonna help that person if it doesn't matter? Like, I believe that us, the people, have the opportunity to make a difference, but we don't. And I'm gonna keep talking in between the click. Like, if y'all want to see this, the whole thing is right here on YouTube. Like, I'm going to keep talking. I'm just breaking it down for a lot of people. This is my opinion. This is what I think. This is how I feel. Like, I'm not the only one that thinks like this. As before I decided to do this, I was, getting my little, talking to people, getting their opinions, and a lot of people, like, yo, it's crazy. A lot of people really think like I think.
At